Hey there, here I am in Bali reporting from this amazing place, New Earth Haven. And I wanted to share with you something I recently learned. Oftentimes we hear a sound and we think we know what that sound represents, right? Well, recently I've been taking singing classes, and the singing classes have nothing to do with singing. They actually have more to do with learning how to really hear and listen. And one of the things I learned is when we hear something, we can reproduce it. So if we hear it correctly, we can reproduce it correctly. But what I started doing in my singing classes is as soon as I would hear a note on a keyboard, I would start to reproduce it without letting the entire note finish. And what I learned is that when you really sit and listen to the entire note, there's a whole family of notes that come through. So for example, it starts off loud, but it's still going. And it's still going. And it's still going. And what I learned is that in life, I hear something, and without hearing the full story, I make an assumption and I start to go down that path. And it's often a path of self-doubt or criticism or judgment. It's actually still going. And what I've learned in the singing class to do is to stop and listen to the full story. And when I listen to the full note, I actually reproduce the note almost perfectly. So what I'm taking away from that and applying in my life is when I hear something, to not make a judgment and actually wait for the full story to play out, because it might actually end up turning better than I'm imagining, or actually that last note might end up being the key that I really need to learn in order to tell me which direction and where to go in life. So I just wanted to share that with you. Be careful about our judgments. Oftentimes if we sit and wait for the full story to come, we might end up getting more than we expected in a beautiful way.